Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you Game 3 of a best of 5 between Stahlbrecher and Woeisme in the semi-finals of the Division 1 playoffs of the WARNO League. Today they are playing on Airport Duel, and on our left in the red team we have Woeisme playing with the 20th Pancerna, and on our right in the blue team we have Stahlbrecher using the 5th French Armoured. It is the same matchup as we had in the first game, where Woe managed to defeat the 5th of Stahlbrecher, but this time around Stahlbrecher still feeling confident with this division choice and is going to be hopefully getting one back in this best of 5, otherwise he will lose out completely. So let's have a quick look at what's going down for Woeisme. He is starting with two T-72s, so T-72M2 Wilk, T-72M1D. That's going to push this T-72 to a higher battery. Then we've got the two BMP2s here with the Partus Mech with SVDs. There's a couple of HHM squads, the Fargos with the Strela 2Ms and a couple of Malotka Ps. Then he's got two Mi2s, make that 3 across the front with an Mi2 Recon out in front. A bunch of Special Forces, the 4-man Special Forces teams, and then a BRDM to Malotka P heading down to Boris. Then over on the side of Stahlbrecher, he's got a Dragon Powder, he's got a couple of AMX-10s, including a Blindee. So one's heading to the top, one's heading towards the mid. Alouette's going to be scouting the bottom side, and then all of his forces on this road consists of Tarask, so the TRM 2000s with the P4 PC leader. There's a Milan 2, he's got Grenadier voltages in there amongst AMX 30 B2 Brennus and another Tarask. So 3 TRM 2000s, 3 AMX 30s, and the rest are Grens and Milans. Cool. All right, let's see how this goes as we get underway. Looks like a priority on the top side for Stahlbrecher. Wants to get a good position into the industrial area up here amongst all of those buildings. And it looks like it's going to be the same for Woe. Neither player really putting too much towards Fedor or Boris at the start of the game. Almost entirely focusing on Emma and Elena. We've got to kind of keep an eye on the initial engagements, because it's really going to be whether or not the Special Forces of Woe can catch out any of these AMX-10s or vice versa. Like if these AMX-10s can stop, get a nice snipe onto the honkers, that would be fantastic. The Dragon Powder here doesn't want to get caught out. I'm not sure that the Dragon Powder has AT. No, it doesn't. So that doesn't want to bump into the Special Forces here, because the honkers can just kill them at a distance. Although in this case, the honker getting very close. And then the Mi2s, well, they're just going to open up. Their Dragon Power is going to be taken care of pretty easily as they start to move across the open. But the Tarask have arrived with the 20 mils, so hopefully going to be shutting down some of these Mi2s. And these Mi2s, they're 70 points apiece. He doesn't want to lose them for free. None of these HGMs are really hitting the mark, although he did manage to kill the P4 PC, which is a pretty nice kill early on, as it will slow down the tick of conquest points for Stahlbrecher. But Stahlbrecher, he is going to be in the lead again on conquest points at the start of the game. Nice kill there. Free kill onto the VAB, takes out a Grenadier Voltager. Looks like Woe completely in control of the town. I say completely in control. There's one man standing in the way of all of this. So that's now gone down, and Stahlbrecher should be able to push back in there in good time. But another of the Mi2 URPs goes down, and that is all of the helicopter support there taken care of. Alouette didn't really spot much on the bottom side, so now Commando is going to move in to secure Fedor and Boris. Meanwhile, MiG-21's coming in with their rockets to engage some of this infantry out in the open. So some really crazy engagements back and forth. The Malotka Ps have been taken out on the side of Woe. His helicopters went down. On the side of Stahlbrecher, he's managed to keep a lot of his main forces alive, other than some poor Grens that did get taken out on the bottom side. Now we've got direct gun engagements between the T-72 and the AMX-10. Stahlbrecher has to be super careful here. The AMX-10 is such a high value target. Like, the reason the AMX-10s are great is because they're super fast and they have a decent gun, so they can flank very, very well. But in a direct engagement against something like a T-72, especially when it has 3 vets, it's just not going to end well at all. And that was a nasty set of engagements there. The TRM-2000s are all dead, except from this one by the airport. All of these are on low cohesion and forced to back off due to low health. So Woe has managed to solidify the position here with the help of the BMPs, but the BMPs did go down. Both the BMP-2s are out of action. But yeah, the T-72 is really the name of the game again, since he's playing the 20th Pancerna. SU-22, free kill onto the Alouette back there. Yeah, commandos are getting into position. Just has to be careful that a helicopter like an MO-24 doesn't come around here and just get free kills onto those. So that's one thing he's just got to watch out for. The T-72s, they're going to try and move into position to engage the AMX-30. No AA just yet. Arriving the front line aside from these TRM-2000s. So the MiG-21 free to strafe the Gazelle Hot 2. SU-22 going to be taken over. Although it doesn't have any 30mm ammunition left. So wasn't able to complete the strafe. MiG-21 probably the same. Yeah, they're both completely out of ammunition. So the Gazelle actually staying alive here, and that's really bad news for these T-72s, which have most likely used up their smoke, but do manage to get behind the building there just in time. Strela 2M now has the weight on its shoulders with its 45% accuracy to get the job done, but the AMX-10 RC here, sneaking about, might be able to clean that out before it kills the Gazelle. Okay, Strela gets his job done, and AMX-10 will not find the kill there as it jumps out in the opposite direction. But meanwhile, Stahlbrecher has got the P4 PC into Fedor, and he is going to be moving it into Boris very quickly. And meanwhile, Woe has not captured any of his sectors. He didn't even capture his main sector at the start here because the T-72s drove down this road rather than driving through that sector. So the T-72 M1D didn't actually get the cap, and that's put him actually quite far behind on conquest points for the 3rd time in this series. Something that I feel like puts Woe under a lot of pressure. And now it's just really on to Stahlbrecher to capitalize on that pressure. So let's see if he can. I mean, this map, I would say, suits the French a lot more. You know, you want these more spaced out engagements with the French because you have units that are fantastic for flanking, whilst the 20th Pancerna, it wants to stay together with its T-72s and have like these sort of local superiority with that firepower, especially against the French, which have, you know, inferior tanks. So Behotasmech trying to get as much ground as they can. It may be not advisable to move that far up with the infantry because it does mean that they might get spotted on the edge of the town and then just killed off by artillery or just like peppered by shots from a distance. But MiG-21 with the rockets coming in again. I'm really interested to see like the use of all these rocket planes from Woeisme. Like using the 240mm rockets. I mean, this is a 125-point plane, and I just feel like the rocket planes just don't really ever find that much value. But I guess over time, if they don't actually get killed off completely, then they might. Strela 2's trying to scare off the Jaguar AT, but not able to do that just yet. This is a 2-vet Jaguar AT, so it is getting 66% accuracy on its AS-30. Shot one of them at the BMP-2. Going to be looking for the next into the T-72 and hits the Wilk. Good, misses the mark. MiG-21 rockets onto the Dragon Paras. Ronin 3 doesn't secure the kill. But getting the Ronin 3s up and securing the skies is going to be something that Stahlbrecher is going to want to do here because there's a lot of points invested by Woe into these aircraft. Nice kill though by the MiG-21 onto the Milan 2. And Su-22 M4 now looking for the Grenadiers voltages there. I guess at the start of the game, you know, they can find value. I mean, a Milan's not cheap. A Milan 2 squad in particular. And they will be good for cleaning up those sorts of squads. And again, Su-22 with rockets, 155 points, cleans out like a 50-point infantry. Only got to do that a couple more times, and that's paid itself off. and kept pressure on the map. But speaking of pressure on the map, Stahlbrecher is completely controlling this bottom side. He's used his TRM 2000 to shoot down the Mi-2 US, so removing that recon helicopter from play. He's got his commandos now supported by Mistral here. He's got the Mephisto for some long-range HDGM shenanigans. His Mistral probably also came with this T-2013, which can also shoot at aircraft. But does let the TRM 2000 die to the BMP-1. Either way, strong position now for Stahlbrecher, because whilst he has ceded the town on the top side, he certainly made Woe pay for it. And now he just needs to solidify the sectors that he does have, and he can sit on this +2 for a pretty long time. F1C hanging about. I presume that he brought that in because he was trying to preempt some of the rocket strikes that Woe might try to use, but having it fly that far forwards was a mistake, because there isn't really any helicopter targets across the front here, so no reason for him to bring that in to attack anything. The MX-10 still poking away, and this is what the MX-10 is great for. You know, it has mediocre stealth, which for a unit with a 17 AP gun is pretty nice. And you can use cover effectively to sneak up and kill stuff, especially since they also have very good optics, so they can spot their own targets. In the middle here, the B2 Brennis will do a lot of damage to the Pancerna, but T-72 Empty Wilk on the way over with the 2 vet. Oh, lovely kill though. Oh, and a double from the Seria 30. AMX-30 B2 Brennis not lasting long at all. That's 145 points apiece, and that plane for 220 points already paid itself off. Absolutely huge. Mephisto not able to get the Hot 2 on target. Hot 2 is a pretty nasty HGM, just like the Milan 2. Milan 2, 24 AP. Mephisto, 24 AP. But the Mephisto with the Hot, extra accuracy, extra range, makes it a pretty deadly HGM. Oh, and also the AMX-10 getting picked off there. That is ruthless. But it looks like that did poke forwards and kill the BMP just before it got into the backside of the sector here. So, you might say it was worth it, just so that he can continue to increase his conquest lead. Because Stahlbrecher has shown that he likes to take the conquest lead early and then play defensively for the rest of the game. That's kind of been his style throughout this entire series, forced or not. And it's kind of worked for him in the second game. It didn't end up panning out entirely, but you know, in the end, it was close. So if he can do that again, but better, then there's a chance. Now, I'm not sure if they actually got the kill, because that was very close. I think it did manage to get out, just as that exploded. So a little bit unfortunate there for Woe. His Cub trying its best to get shots on target. Finally gets the T-72s into the sector here. And the concentration of T-72s going to make it very difficult for Stahlbrecher to get this taken care of. The main way that he can do so is leveraging HGMs in lots of different directions. So, you know, he's got the Mephisto here. If he puts like a Milan in here, he has the Milan there, he has a Milan here. So whenever these T-72s push forwards, there's always a chance that they're going to be shot at from some direction, which stops the T-72s from making progress until Woe starts investing into artillery or airstrikes to take care of those HGMs. The other thing that he can do is use the Gazelle here. Like, this is great because it's basically just a mobile HGM that he can move around. And then the other thing is tanks. You know, he can do the same with his AMX-30s. Just not keep the AMX-30s in the same place, start spreading them out in a nice concave arc, and then just start picking apart the T-72s. But at the moment, things not going well, as both the Mephisto and the T-20 and then Commandos have been taken out. MiG-21 now on the hunt once again, probably looking for Milan 2s to kill. And it seems like that is the target, generally, for these MiG-21s. The Commandos getting the LRAC on target. Unfortunately for him, the Wilk, it is 11 health. So that's tough to kill,
because it gets explosive reactive armor, it does get the +1 health. MiG-21 strafes the Gazelle hot. First one just dives straight into the ground. As the Gazelle hot didn't go down, it did actually manage to clean up the T-72. Oh, the Mistral killed that one on the way out. Huge. Absolutely huge. Will it hit this one as well? Because that would delay it being able to come in again. It does. So, pretty good hits onto the aircraft of Woe by Stahlbrecher. But the blob of T-72s here, still very, very scary. Woe does have to be careful of the Jaguar. Like, if I was looking at this from Stahlbrecher's point of view, this is a beautiful Jaguar cluster waiting to happen. Mephisto wins against the BMP-1. Doesn't get hit by the Maluka of the Recon BMP-1. Oh, those rocket planes almost taking out the MX-10 there. But again, this Mistral getting a lot of damage on target. And whilst it's not getting kills, still doing a good job. Land 2 here. Let's get taken out. Rocket would have probably done the same. MiG-21. It's going to be fired at again. Goes down. So that's all 3 of those MiG-21s taken care of. We won't have to worry about them anymore, which means he can probably invest much more into those HGMs. Whether it's the Gazelle Hot 2s, like he's bringing in now, or the Milans on the ground. Because that's one less tool that Woe has to deal with it. That's why he's now investing in the Dana on the background, like in the background there. So Kangaroo used up its supply very quickly. These Rolands have been firing a lot of shots. Milan 2 here. Bam. Nice 4 damage onto the T-72. M1 takes the cohesion down to mediocre. BMP-2 is going to continue to press forwards. That Milan 2's basically got to hit every single shot, or it's dead. Because those 30mm autocannons can kill them very quickly. The Dana going to be immediately firing towards that. Well, the Milan 2 did hit the T-72 for a second time, though. Will it hit a third? Because the T-72 doesn't have any smoke left. I think it lost line of sight just the last minute there because of the smoke that the BMP-2 laid. Now the Dana artillery coming in. Milan 2 is going to try and fall back away from that, but a little bit delayed. AMX Alpha 1 from Stahlbrecher being used to engage the Behottesmech. Alright, now we've got the AT plane coming in again. Oh, I didn't get the hit this time. Will the Rolands punish? No. No, they will not. Alright, well. Stahlbrecher almost 1,000 points ahead. And Woe's just managed to bring it back to 50-50 in capture points. So we got 23 minutes left on the map. It's starting to turn out very similar to the previous game. Mirage F1C failing to shoot down the Mi-24D. Gazelle hot. He's got some free shots here. It's going to be side shot. T-72 M1D goes down. That's still on target? I'm not sure. No, it is not. MX-30s, they've got to try and ambush those the best they can. On this bottom side, Mistral taken out. Mephisto almost hit the T-72M there. That was such an important hit. The BMP-1 managing to get its own Maluka on target. Kangaroo going down in the middle. Mi-24 did die on the top side finally. But Stahlbrecher really struggling again. Woe doing a good job of keeping his T-72s concentrated. That's allowing him to slowly but surely overwhelm these forces, although now we have the B2 Brennis there taking out the BMP. We got the Milan hitting it from all sorts of directions. Woe's over-aggression here might cost him. B2 looking for a shot, takes out the T-72 M2 Wilk. That is so important. And now only one T-72 left out of that push. Nice smoke. Keeps the Blindee alive. That Fargo would have got great value there. Now the MX-30, can it finish the deal? No. T-72 gets out of line of sight just in time. This M1 struggling, only on 1 health at the back. More supply is needed from Woe, and more supply is on the way. Now Stahl needs to try and use the cover on the bottom side here to get the AMX-10s on target. It's going to be very important. Oh, that was lucky. The ATGM landed right next to the Puma. If it had landed like underneath it, it probably would have killed it. The AMX-10. It's got to try and probably clean up the BMP-1s first. And then try and engage the T-72s. So that's one BMP-1 taken care of. But the others are all pushing him very, very hard. Second BMP-1. AMX-10 misses. Can it get in cover away from the ATGM? It can. SU-22s are ready to pounce on the backside. Dana also going to be engaging units all the while. Now Mirage F1C coming in. Oh, good hits, good hits. Very nice. Mistral gets the second kill. Both the Su-22 rocket planes are dead. Gazelle on the bottom side, unfortunately too close to the machine guns, is going to allow the T-72 to find the kill there. Oh, AMX-10. They trade the Blindee for a T-72M. BMP-1 now in trouble because the AMX-10 should be able to finish that off on its own. And that's going to remove a lot of the armor pressure that was on this bottom side. There is a BMP-1 on the way to try and capture this. But it looks like Stahlbrecher might be able to get back into position in time to prevent this from capturing. It really depends. I mean, he's got the VAB, he's got the grand voltages. It might just take a little bit too long for them to run forwards and engage here, giving time for 2 more T-72Ms to arrive. But still not a point on the board for Woe. And we are now less than 20 minutes left in this game. Voltages here. Oh no. Okay, this is on return fire, so that is really unlucky. Like, Woe, they're making the right decision to keep that on return fire, because you don't want it to like reveal itself unnecessarily with its main guns, but the RPG would have been so useful. In that case, just turning off these guns would have been the play. Right, multiple VABs gone down, Gazelle Hot 2 went down. It also looked like the T-72 leader went down. I don't know if that was the AMX just popping that. But regardless, bottom side has been captured now by Woe. So he is going to be taking a +2 as soon as he full caps this. On the top, sorry for the driver crash, Grenadier voltages finished off the special forces, AMX-10s trying to engage the Stahlbrecher. Now these Gren voltages engaging the pot on the bottom side. AMX-10 really needs to help deal with that BMP. He's done as firing preemptively at where the Grens would be going. What he needs to do there, though, is kind of pull back the Pehota so that the Gren moves forwards into it without Stahlbrecher really noticing that that's happening. Kind of draw them in on purpose. These Gren voltages, though, I feel like that's just died for free. Ronin 3s looking for the Su-22. They did get a really successful kill there onto the AMX-30 V2, so traded the AT plane for the AMX-30. Dana, unfortunately not able to kill the AMX-10. Voltages finish off the Pehota Smech. Infantry in the open here. Going to take a lot of damage from the B2 Brennus. So control over the sector should fall back in favour of Stahlbrecher. Also in the middle of the map, I just noticed there was no leader left for Woe, so he's not going to be able to recap that anytime soon. And the AMX finally finishes off the BMP. Like the absolute hero AMX here. Like this has been doing a great job. So, 2 T-72Ms have now arrived. which is certainly going to put a blunt on the attack the Stahlbrecher is trying to make here. Dunner's really not hitting as successfully this time around. Seria again taking out one of the AMX B2 Brennus. Second Brennus will retreat from the conkers of the BMP. These voltages finding the T-72s on the bottom side, but the Jaguar now coming in misses the mark, unfortunately. A 66% accuracy, not doing Stahlbrecher many favors. We're coming back around for another go. One of them goes down at least. AMX-10 finally finished off. That's a really solid kill there for Woe, because that AMX-10 was causing a lot of problems, but another one is going to be on the way, and Stahlbrecher notices that that worked out well the first time. Maybe it can work out again a second time with a better version. AMX-30 on the runway did go down. The AMX-30 V2 just getting into cover in time, trying to get on top of these Dunners. The VABs with the 50 cals might finish the job. BMP's got a lot of work to do. Oh, and this Dunner stopped and fired at it with its main gun as well. So the Dunner's remaining alive. So what's happening here is, like, Woe is keeping them really close to the front line, so the artillery shells have a lot less travel time, and also are a lot more accurate because they have less dispersion. But it does put them in a risky position, as is shown by this one now only on 1 health. The MX-30 here, moving up, killing the BMP-1 is big. The shot from the recon there missed, but the T-72M does not. That could have gone either way. Like, the T-72 is also low on cohesion, so that could have easily missed, and then the AMX-30 gets a shot on target or something. That would have been wild. But there's no AA down here other than the Cub. The Cub would have to move forwards to engage the Hot 2. That Hot 2 looking to get a shot onto the T-72, but the T-72 is currently, like, using the barn for cover. So that Gazelle's going to have to fly down to the bottom side here if it wants to get a shot on target. Meanwhile, SU-22 coming in and stopping that from getting into position, also getting rockets on target at the same time. Dana trying to escape with its life as the AMX Alpha 1 now engages. Alright, well, things are getting interesting here because Woe's still only on a +1, and he doesn't have as much time as he had in the second game. AMX-30B2 Brennus does go down, however, to the T-72M1D, and this AMX-30B2 is not going to be able to full cap the middle because of that. So he's got to get rid of this T-72. Oh, lovely turret stuck crit. That's going to allow the AMX-30 to potentially take advantage of it, but he can get that into a safe position. The BMP is also ready there to help cap if needs be. On the bottom, meanwhile, P4PC has drove all the way up here and will flip the cap at Boris, which is actually going to stop the income altogether of conquest points for Woe. SU-22 gets out alive. Those Rolands haven't been as successful this time around as they were in the first game. But Gren voltages moving forwards, engaging Protoss mech, backed up by the MX-30. That works out nicely. Mirage F1C somehow managing to escape. There isn't really much AA. I guess just like the one curb that it got hit by. Gren voltages jump in there. Will they get a side shot? Or they do. Will they get a second? Woe's, I don't think, paying attention here. It seems like in this sort of situation, Woe is struggling a lot more with his micro because it's much wider map. And Stahlbrecher really taking advantage of, like, the entire map and spreading Woe thin. He's playing to his division strength, and it is really, really fun to watch. Jaguar coming in with the HE strike, looking to take advantage of the low health T-72s. Might actually kill both of them. Oh, if those bombs had been a little tighter, that would have been 2 T-72M1s going down, which would have been absolutely devastating. Grenadier voltages might take a BMP-1 with them. They've already unloaded. Jaguar looking for the T-72, finds it. T-72M1D going down there, taking out the leader that would be able to capture Fedor. Absolutely crucial. Kub out of ammo, hasn't been replaced yet, so the Jaguar... Oh, it almost got the second. It almost got the second, but not quite. Now AMX-10s coming up to clean up with the AMX-30B2. All the BMP-1s are taken care of. There is still the BMP-2 that's a threat. T-72 is just backing off to get repaired. Jaguar really needs to leave. Oh, but the Gazelle on the bottom side here, finding the T-72M and taking that out without being killed by the machine gun is huge. Now the BMP-1 in trouble, takes that out as well. This Gazelle Hot 2 is running all over that bottom side. And there's still now a +2 for Stahlbrecher as he does manage to capture the center sector here with the AMX-30. Unfortunately, missing the Malutka P there might cost him his cohesion. Yeah, that's going to be a tough fight now for the AMX-30. Gunners also engaging, but they're actually firing at the Milan here. Oh, Malutka P finds the shot. Seria 22 coming in. SU-22 coming in, taking out the Gazelle Hot on the bottom side. But the +2 is ticking. There's 10 minutes 40 seconds left on the clock. This is looking a lot more scarier for Woe. I mean, he's got some serious kills this game with these aircraft. Like, I'm a big fan of how he's been using these aircraft. I wasn't sure about the rocket planes at first, but to be honest, I'm starting to grow on them, having watched Woe use them throughout these games so far. They just seem to be getting decent value in 1v1 because there's not as much of an AA net. You can just use them in all the locations where the AA is not. You see like Stahlbrecher here, he's concentrating his Rolands so that he can get kills onto those aircraft. If he spread them out, then he'd be hitting them and forcing them back, sure, but he wouldn't actually be getting the kills, and then they'd just come in over and over and over again and get strikes in every time. So keeping them together there sort of more guarantees kills, and whilst that's good for Stahlbrecher to solidify the center of the map, it's also, you know, a chance for Woe to take advantage of it on the flanks, which he can do with those rocket planes. And one thing I'm really interested in about here is how, like, unfazed Woe is about his situation in this game right now. His opponent's on a +2. He can't really lose more conquest points at this point because there's only 9 minutes left on the clock. He's got to make the play. He's got a very large contingent of forces that were sat there for a very long amount of time. He's got to make the move, and he is finally doing that. The Dana will engage the Milan 2 there. Did the other one die? It looks like the other one might have got killed. So that Milan 2 may be able to do a decent amount of damage. It is moving already. Oh no, he just cancelled it. Jaguar HE coming in with the bombs. Oh, kills the PMP leader. Doesn't kill the T-72 leader, but does leave the center there exposed to a recap if the T-72M1D goes down. Jaguar looking to get a missile on target, but turning too tight. M1 goes down. Apelles in position now is actually really scary here. This is a 21 AP launcher at 750 meter range. That T-72 is very close to dead if that Grenadier Voltigeur moves up just like an inch. Oh, engine destroy. Oh no, the Mephisto finds the kill. T-72 goes down. AMX-30 now ready and waiting to cap that back. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. This is what you want to see. Like the Mephisto right at the back, sitting there whilst the engagement's going on, getting free shots through. Like AMX-30 would take the shots from the tanks. Voltages getting nice and close, putting on pressure. Lovely play. Lovely play indeed. And Stahlbrecher here looking like he's heading to victory for this third game. BMP-2 does go down. AMX-30 struggling to get into the sector because the Woeisme and this recon is going to stop him. The Komar is enough to do a decent amount of damage to the MX-30, especially in the side armor. These things only have 4 side armor. But yeah, artillery is being fired. Well, that's actually going for the supply on the backside there. MX-30 just going to take as wide a approach as possible. Get the cap down. But now a push being made further up. There's no leader to follow here though. So T-72 is just kind of rushing through. Has Woe ran out of leaders? It's very possible. He did have BRDM leaders before, but I don't see any coming in on the map, so I'm a bit worried about that. Right, this recon taken care of. T-72s are making good progress now. I mean, he's finding the holes in the defenses, but ultimately they're just going to get surrounded and killed off. MX Alpha 1 actually moving somewhat aggressively there. Not a good idea, because it only has 1 shot for AP. It's not like it can keep engaging a T-72 over time. But the MX-30 B2s getting the flank on that T-72 M1. P4 Milan. Oh, if it hits the mark. It would have lowered the cohesion quite a lot. Now the P4 Milan hits here. AMX-10 going to finish that off. Mephisto and the AMX-30 is coming through here. This is just the last hurrah, I think, from Woe. This P4 Milan at max range now, getting shots on target. That T-72M going down. Nice. Really, really good job by Stahlbrecher this game. And Woe is going to give it up. So there it is. 34 minutes, 45 seconds. Stahlbrecher. What a Chad move. Does the same matchup as the first game where he lost quite decisively to Woe and swings it around completely. But the map definitely suited the division a lot more this time around. And he really took advantage of that. He spread Woe out. And it feels like Woe might struggle a little bit with keeping an eye on all of his units in the map if it's a wide map. So yeah, it seemed like Stahl took advantage of that this time around and managed to find the victory. So yeah, even with a very rocky start, you know, I felt like Woe was getting very good trades early on. I was wondering how Stahl was going to get back into that one, but eventually managed to find those annoying flanking shots. Like this AMX-10 completely turned the game around on the bottom side, almost single-handedly. It was huge. So much good value. The AMX Alpha 1 found the kill onto one of the T-72 M1Ds. The Gazelle Hots really, really work well on that map. Yeah. Lovely play by using these like cheaper tanks to get the flanking shots into the T-72s eventually. And really ended up breaking down Woe's pushes. So yeah, fun game to watch again from this series. It is a best of 5 that now puts Woe at 2-1. So, you know, Woe can still win in the next game. Stahlbrecher still on the cusp of losing out, so will be putting all of his effort into the next one. So I'm excited to see what these guys come up with. But that's all from me for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.